Good afternoon. Ami Clark here, licensed clinical mental health clinician and certified end-of-life doula. It's Sunday, October something, 2024. And today I'm going to talk about something called love bombing. Now, I'm sure on social media, everybody talks about love bombing. You hear about it all the time. And love bombing is when someone showers someone excessively with gifts and compliments so that they can gain influence over you. It is not about their partner or whoever they want to gain control over. It is about them. It's about themselves and wanting to get what they want. And I'm watching a show on Netflix called Dirty John. Now, I started with the second season because I clicked that, but now I'm watching the first season, which is the John Meehan story, and he is was a great example of someone who would gaslight. If you ever want to look it up, it's a true crime story. John Meehan was a con artist and very dangerous person who probably had a diagnosis of narcissism. Although just because one is narcissistic does not necessarily mean they are abusive. I also think, watching what I'm seeing, he probably also had undiagnosed, what do they call that? Antisocial personality disorder. That's it. Probably with, they don't say psychopath anymore, but basically that's what he was. He was a psychopath. He managed to con the women he married because he was moving up, basically, for their money. Anyone who made even more, he would go for. He always had a supply, because in these type of relationships, that's what they need, their supply, if the other supply is gone. And this guy needed a supply to feed his drug habit because he was addicted to opioids. So the reason I'm bringing up love bombing is because people get confused with love bombing. You know, just because someone is nice to someone and doing something for someone because they want to doesn't necessarily mean that they are love bombing them. But this person, he constantly love bombed them. He did it he did it so much to his wives, but to the last wife he was with, that it was hard for her to believe that he was not a good person, or he had issues, that he was going to hurt her. He was lying to her. Her daughters figured it out. Her daughters sniffed it out. I mean, a lot of the time we can't recognize what love bombing is because we're not sure. You know, a lot of us don't realize what it could be. And, you know, I've been a victim of it, you know, and a survivor, as has my sister. And usually the love bombing in our case is that there is excessive love bombing without having to hold themselves accountable for their actions, for the things they did to hurt us. So instead of doing that, they love bombed us. They gave us gifts. They told us beautiful things. They took us places. They did all these nice things without having to account for what they did wrong to hurt us. And that happens a lot to a lot of people. And I mentioned us, as in my sister and I, because we have experienced these types of relationships. So if you ever want to learn more about love bombing, Google it or watch Dirty John, read up on it, because these things exist in relationships. And you have to also realize that it's never going to be your fault that it's happening to you. You know, we can't help that we want to be loved. We like having wonderful things happen to us. But sometimes those wonderful things, when the person has hurt us or seems, you know, a little suspicious, and then they ramp up the nicest, they ramp up all the nice little things that they're doing for us, that's when we should ask questions. That's when we should ask ourselves, what's really going on here? I'm not trying to make anyone paranoid, but I just, you know, giving the information that sometimes the love bombing happens after they hurt us, and sometimes the love bombing doesn't. It happens beforehand so that we don't believe that they're hurting us. So again, I would recommend watching Dirty John on Netflix. It's informative. You guys have a wonderful Sunday.